The defense concluded their heads of argument for the discharge of all 96 charges against rape-accused Pastor Timothy Omotoso and his two co-accused Lusanda, Sulani and Zukiswa, Sitho. Defense advocate Peter Dauberman listed all the reasons why he deemed the trial to be unfair towards his clients. Reasons included prosecutorial misconduct from the old state advocate on the case, Nceba Ntelwa. Daubermann maintained that Ntelwa tainted evidence from state witnesses. The state will tomorrow present their heads of argument to prove why the trial is fair and should continue. SABC News reporter Lerato Fekisi has more for us.
What has been an interesting afternoon by defense lawyer Peter Dauberman, where he did his head of arguments this afternoon, where he first stated that he wants to apply for Section 174, asking Judge Skuman to drop all charges against Omotoso because he says not enough evidence has been provided by the state for him to be prosecuted. He went on then to poke holes at Advocate Ntelwa, who has recused himself from this case, saying that he has got proof, as there was when he applied for a mistrial, that Advocate Ntelwa conspired or coerced the witnesses to commit perjury, where there was instances during his application, the mistrial, where it was proven that Advocate Ntelwa would be given a testimony by a witness, and he would tell the witness to amend certain parts of the statement and say something different when they appear in court. He then went into the testimony that was done by Nceba, where he stated that her testimony alone is so flawed, it cannot hold ground or must even be considered as evidence against this case. And he said the reason why behind that is that originally when she had spoken to the police, she stated that Timothy Omotoso had allegedly inserted his finger into her private part. She then went and said the same thing to Advocate Sitho. She said the same thing to Dr. Miller, but when she got to Advocate Ntelwa, she just said that she was sexually violated. And Peter Dauberman then said this was because when she spoke to Advocate Ntelwa, he alleges that Ntelwa told her to in fact change this from fingers being inserted into a private part to rape. And Dauberman was saying that this is in fact isn't right, because all along she had been saying that from the first time she was interviewed by the police, to the Hawks, to the psychologist, to Sitho, that fingers were inserted allegedly by Omotoso into a private part. But then after speaking to Ntelwa, all of a sudden it changed from that to what was called rape, and then again insinuating that Ntelwa is the one that forced her or coerced her to commit perjury and change her original statement, because then again in court when she was cross-examined 2 weeks ago, she actually did confess that she did state all throughout her confession that she was never raped at all by Omotoso, but instead that her finger was inserted into her private part. And she's not sure as to why Ntelwa would say that he misunderstood, or why Ntelwa would not write down exactly what she said. And she also then alleges that perhaps the reason, or the state went further to state perhaps that the reason why Ntelwa put down what she put down as rape was that perhaps he misunderstood what Gianni was saying, and Dauberman was saying this is not right or not even correct, because later it was the same Ntelwa who admitted that in fact he did hear throughout her testimony to the psychologist, to the Hawks, that fingers were inserted. He then went further to state that it was the same Ntelwa who created a WhatsApp group where he would chat with all the witnesses on that WhatsApp group, something that was proven during the mistrial, that all he was saying in that WhatsApp group was this vital information concerning the case. But Dauberman went further to state that it was unethical, nor did it not go against the principles of court for an entire prosecutor to be chatting to witnesses at the time of the trial or even before the trial. So Dauberman was saying that Ntelwa has portrayed someone who is not an advocate for truth like a prosecutor should be. He was not truthful in court. He coerced witnesses to commit perjury, and he proved that in the Gianni case. And if anything, he was the one that has caused many witnesses now to have inconsistencies in their statement. And he ended off his argument by saying that any court who has heard what he has said this morning concerning Ntelwa, concerning the inconsistencies of the testimonies of the witnesses, that this case must be dropped.